It's totally obvious that Tiago has something which he needs to keep himself really occupied and have a lot of plates spinning. I know a few people that are like this, you call them monkey with a machine gun or whatever, but they thrive off that, the stress of just having all of these things going and stoking this fire here, going back over here, finding this one phone. He enjoys that because he's inflicted it all on himself.
Way I can stay focused is to look at my dash, look at my splits, and try and get quicker and quicker and quicker all the time.
So I need to move, I need to be on the run all the time.
I think what we like, and we all have that in common, is the adrenaline, the speed, the fact that you have an engine and you can control that engine. Hallelujah, I finished a race, and I finished a race with some points, which is good, obviously. Attention from the fans, people want to party with you. One of those mandatory things. Loved it. If you want to party, you can, but it's more for the friends and sponsors, everybody that follows the whole circus. I'm going to show you a little bit of our race car and all the vehicle security parts of it. You'll have to go to dinners or PR stuff. But to go out, actually, most of the times you don't even go out. But okay, occasionally, of course, like everybody, I like to have fun, I like to enjoy myself, and wherever I am, I adapt myself, to be honest. And if I'm in the mood to party, I'm very easygoing. It could be on a Sunday night after a race, it could be on the Wednesday in the middle of the week, but it's not that often. But obviously, if I have an early meeting the next day, I'm going to be a bit more careful. You know, it's not like a 9-to-5 job. You organize your life a bit as you need. But to be honest, whenever I have free time, it's nothing better than to stay at home with your family.
Mais quand il a commencé sérieusement à faire les 3 premières courses avant de finir ses études, là j'ai la peur de ma vie.
Il a eu sa première moto à 4 ans, à 5 ans. Et toujours le moto, le moto, le moto. À ce moment, on faisait peur pour lui à cause de la moto.
Very young in my life, I loved motorsport. Anything that had wheels and an engine on. And there's plenty of places here where we had a lot of fun. It was the beginning of my racing life.
I was born in Porto and was here until 5 or 6 more or less. Then I went to Paris. These 6-7 years ago I came back to Porto. I went to Switzerland to study hotel management and then left Switzerland to come back to Porto and while I was racing. And then in the meantime, Miami, I was in Champ Car, London when I was in Formula 1, even Spain, and then back officially to Porto maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
If you're racing anything in Europe, you can be pretty much anywhere in Europe and it still works out quite okay. So, you know, my wife is Portuguese. Lisbon makes also a lot of sense because of the business, everything is there. Then again, Porto is more relaxed. It's a smaller town, more laid back, which I like, and close to the family.
When I saw him and when he saw me, we get in love with each other. I think it was love at first.
A tolerant wife, an understandable wife is the most important part. That's what she knows exactly what I go through.
The kids are They are very, very small, so they don't have school. We can go with the father, and that's the best part. We can travel everywhere all together.
You leave home for 2 days, 3 days, you can live with it. When you go for longer than that, it's really hard. You know, your kids grow up so fast.
I don't like being away from home. I'm staying especially away from my family. That's part of my job, it's part of my passion, it's part of my life.
I think the main reason behind all that is that I'm addicted. Yeah, I complain about how busy I am and I don't have time for myself and for my family. But still, if I stay too long in the same place,
It starts to hitch and I need to leave. Japan is one of my favorite places. The culture, the food, the language, all this goes well with my mentality and my way of living. No need for a clock or timing, nothing. Just knows exactly what to do. As I am a sushi fan, I'm going to have a little lesson today, so if you want to follow me, kitchen of my restaurant, sushi department. It's brand new. Traditional salmon natsumaki. There's too much you can take off. First time. Thank you. You never know, if I need a new job, I need to get ready.
Morocco, I love it. New country, it's always exciting. Different continents, was exciting as well. So I was really looking forward to that race. It was really different atmosphere, very good feeling actually. Yeah, I scored a few points and I was hoping to get back in the game, knowing that it was going to be tricky anyway. You know, you always try, but like I was trying, my teammates were also trying, nobody wants to get left behind.
8-10 years ago, there was a need to do some merchandising for myself. But then we realized that around Porto, there is a big production, you know, Hugo Boss, Calvin Klein, Diesel, Pepe Jeans, in a 100 km radius around Porto. And we realized we could have quality and still some good prices. So caps, t-shirts, fleeces, things like this. And the quality was so good that people came to us, my teammates, my team owners actually at the beginning, and we started producing for teams, racing teams mostly. Basically our core business was in hotels and motorsport. Brands like Michelin, Audi, the driving experiences of those brands. But at the time, neither I or my business partner could focus so much time on that. So we were basically entering demand more than actually looking for new businesses.
Welcome to view my restaurants in Porto, rewarded by Wallpaper magazine as the top 5 best new restaurant in the world. We have mixology bar actually. It's a special art of cocktails, and we have amazing barmen that can invent anything. Smoking area. During the day, this is also a lunch area, which is nice with the view of the sea.
Je suis associé de nos affaires avec mon frère. Et naturellement, nous avons discuté beaucoup sur Tiago parce qu'on pensait que ce serait lui, dans la logique des choses, qui viendrait derrière nous. Le futur Tiago, il sera toujours la voiture. Et j'essaierai de trouver d'autres moyens pour la continuité de nos sociétés.
To be honest, 90% of drivers' teammates are hardly friends. They have to work together, but they don't have to be friends, and they're not friends most of the time. At SEAT, we have 5 professional drivers, very competitive drivers, and we still get along very well.
On s'entend pas avec Tiago, je crois qu'on est capable de s'entendre avec personne. Et je l'ai découvert il y a maintenant 3 ans en arrivant chez SEAT. C'est un garçon qui a un esprit très ouvert, qui parle plein de langues et parfaitement. Et j'ai vraiment passé de bons moments avec lui. Et collaboration, que ce soit professionnelle mais aussi amicale, qui a été parfaite et qui dure encore maintenant, même si je ne suis plus chez SEAT.
Je ne le connaissais pas comme pilote, je ne le connaissais pas comme personne. Le côté personne, c'était vraiment un découvert. Moi, je l'aime beaucoup. On voulait acheter un bateau ensemble jusqu'il y a un mois. Après, il a dit non parce qu'il n'a pas de temps libre comme moi. Il est beaucoup dans le business. Mais on voulait acheter un bateau ensemble. Et dans le bateau, moi, j'ai eu d'expérience. C'est pas facile de vivre ensemble parce que le bateau, c'est un petit espace. Il faut le condiviser avec les autres. Mais moi, j'aime beaucoup Tiago et j'avais lui proposé, c'est moi qui ai lui proposé d'acheter un bateau ensemble. Ça veut dire que notre relation est vraiment formidable.
Doesn't mean we are all the best friends, but we are very connected. We trust each other. They'll ask us to get along on track, but they're never going to ask us to pretend we like each other. No. A team principal should always try to maintain a good relationship between the drivers because it can really tear the team spirit apart. I'm not saying I am already 100% confident with everything I do or say as a team owner, team principal. Being a driver myself and having now 12 or 13 years of experience, I've been there, I've seen it, I've felt it. I also realize that every driver is really different and they're all difficult to deal with. I'm probably more lenient than most of the team owners, but it doesn't mean that they can do whatever they want anyway. I've been always told that one of the most difficult things to deal with in a team is the drivers, and I can confirm that. I haven't had the necessity to remind the drivers that they need to play the team's game. In GP2 that doesn't happen so much. If for that they need to sacrifice something, at the end of the day they'll need to do it. We were going to win our first race as a team on the 3rd race of the year in Monaco. I mean, it was going to be amazing. And it didn't happen. That's motorsport. Until the checkered flag is not down, anything can happen. So coming to Spa, things were looking very good. We were very fast in qualifying. But then after the experience we had in Monaco, I was always expecting some problem to come. And there was a safety car as well, there was a little bit of drizzling. It was a very, very intense race. It's a brand new experience for me. I am outside the car. I know what I would do, I know what I want to do, but I can't do it because I'm not in the car. So you're very dependent on whatever the driver is doing. And that is a very, very, very strange and difficult feeling to accept. It is quite stressful, but you still need to maintain your focus on what's going on and the strategy. Your heart is racing, yeah, for sure. You are a bit nervous and stressed, but you're still focused. And you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and the laps are long in Spa as well, so it took ages for it to happen. You're in your first year, after having taken over a team that I think hasn't won ever, and after a few races you start to win. So it was a big relief to say, yes, we've done it, we are a winning team now. And then a big, big, big rush of pleasure. And then you start thinking about a lot of people, you know, a lot of people that help you to be there and a lot of people that make it happen. It was a very intense moment. My father and my mother are definitely the people that really helped me the most, especially at the beginning of the career. If I'm here today, after 13 years of racing,
With everything I was able to achieve, it wouldn't have been possible without their trust, their effort, their belief in me, and their support. But through those 13 years, I had a lot of amazing people with me. Family members that are still helping me like every day. Sponsors, some have supported me for 10 years now. Friends that have put you in contact with some people, have helped you on the tough moments. Employees, they made a tremendous work every day at the office, on the team, back in Porto, everywhere. Those guys work a lot. And obviously, more recently, my kids and my wife, which are huge support and huge motivation as well. Without forgetting, of course, my sister, my cousins, everybody's present. And if I'm here today, it's because of everyone of them has helped somehow. It's impossible to say thank you enough. So the reward for them, I guess, it's whenever I have a great result. I think that they're also winning with me. It's not a lot, 3 years, but obviously I've already won races and I want to win more. And I wanted to fight for the championship. Having said that, the first 2 weekends and therefore 4 races have been a nightmare in terms of results. Not one proper finish in the points. Fights with other drivers that pushed me out, punctures, penalties. I got a bit of everything in the beginning of the championship. So getting a bit frustrating, especially when your teammates are scoring a lot of points. And I know that they will always score points. And even if I haven't given up on the title hopes, I need to be realistic. And I don't see it happening this year.
Tiago a été victime de plusieurs incidents qui ont fait que Tiago n'a pas pris de points au début. Par une stratégie de l'équipe, Tiago il a compris qu'il fallait travailler pour l'équipe et pas travailler pour lui. Et c'est comme ça que s'est passée la saison. Je pense que Tiago s'est fait plaisir quand même. Je trouve que ça fait partie de la vie d'un pilote parce que la chance, souvent, elle n'est pas de notre côté.
Play for the team, and the main goal is to make the constructor to win the construction championship. Therefore, we need to obey to the rules, and the rules will always be in favor of the team and never in favor of the drivers. But it's something that I agreed 3 years ago when I signed my first contract with them. At the end of the day, it's rewarding because you're helping a team into a world championship, which we've done last year. But on a personal level, it's sometimes frustrating.
Je me rappelle notamment de la course à Macao, il était très fort, mais par des consignes de team, il n'a pas pu profiter complètement de cet avantage par rapport aux autres, parce qu'il avait un mental de fer.
I like that track. I like the risk, I like the adrenaline, I like the madness of it. It's really a mad, crazy track. You're scared, and you really have respect for that track. After a great start, I went from 4th to 5th up to 2nd. Rob and I were just going away from the others on another rhythm than the others, a lot faster. I couldn't see them on my mirrors almost anymore. There was no way I was going to finish 2nd. I wanted to win anyway. But I was still hoping that even if I couldn't pass, I would stay there in 2nd. They wouldn't call me in because I could see a lot of sets behind. I thought, okay, maybe they don't need my help. And then it was taking longer and longer. In 2 laps till the end, unfortunately, I got a message to make the strategy work, to drop back to 8th or 7th. It was one of the hardest moments of my career and the hardest moment of my season so far. That's why you're a professional driver, you accept the rules and you help the team. I played the game. What else can I say?
Tiago était un enfant très calme, un enfant que toujours tout était très bien. On ne savait pas trop s'il était malheureux, s'il était heureux. À 4 ans, nous sommes allés à Paris dans un endroit et il y avait une tour pour descendre en parachute et il fallait attendre au moins une demi-heure pour faire la queue pour qu'il monte et qu'il saute. Et il m'a dit qu'il voulait le faire, Il a monté les escaliers, il a sauté. Plein de petites choses comme ça. Il a toujours été fou de jet ski, de motocross. Il avait les deux choses. Il était aussi bien, il était timide, calme, comme il était dans les choses qu'il aimait. Il était très, très performant.
We spent a lot of summer holidays here. But I wish that my kids one day will come here and have fun as well. A lot of great memories. Mina, thanks for this back.
I wanted to be in the top 8 for sure. Of course, you always want more, but I couldn't do it. I pushed hard, I took quite some risks, but with the temperature it was a bit more understeering than I would have liked. And in the slow stuff I was struggling a bit more, so losing a little bit. Street track, it's always good to start as close as possible to the front. Of course, you cannot forget that you have 2 races and you cannot risk everything in the first race. The first 2-3 corners are always very tricky, and then put some pressure on the guys in front of you to see if they make some mistakes. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it, of course. Very busy, obviously, but a bit like any national races for local drivers, there's a lot more attention, a lot more fans, friends, family. It does make you more busy, but I think the preparation to it is the hardest. The whole few 2 weeks before are a bit busier. Once the weekend starts, to be honest, I'm able to get into it and to forget about all the outside world. Of course, yeah, now after the qualifying, it's okay to spend 10, 15, 20 minutes with the guys, with the people. They're here waiting a lot for you, so it's nice to take some pictures and some autographs. But apart from that, I'm able to go through it, add myself here in the track, maintain my focus on what we're doing here, like any other track.
Here, it's all for the show, for the TV, for the sponsors, for the guests. It has to be a proper party.
Quite impressive, the amount of people. It's probably more people from the Porto side, yes.
Part of the show, part of the game, it needs to be there, otherwise you wouldn't attract so many sponsors and people and fans. It needs to be a big party, it needs to be a big show. You have some tracks that are perfect for that. Monaco is obviously one of the best for this kind of things. The glamour, the parties, the fun, the money, the boats. This is the most extravagant race of the year.
C'est vrai que le sport automobile, depuis 10 ans, a changé beaucoup. Parce que tout le monde s'est aperçu qu'effectivement ce sport avait la possibilité de concrétiser beaucoup d'intérêts, surtout des intérêts financiers. Cette position a provoqué beaucoup de problèmes pour les jeunes pilotes, non pas la qualité du pilote, mais aussi la qualité financière du pilote. Parce qu'il ne suffit pas d'être un pilote, il suffit d'avoir ses dons naturellement, mais surtout beaucoup d'argent. Le futur sera pire encore, étant donné déjà la conjoncture actuelle. Ce développement se traduit par des coûts qui sont énormes, et naturellement je vois mal comment on pourra toujours continuer à payer à des teams. C'est le monde du sport automobile maintenant, c'est comme ça.
Every time there was a race in Portugal, it was always a big deal, a big event, so we need to organize that. And at the beginning, we asked external companies to organize that, and we realized that even the so-called professionals were useless. So we get the people that we want, we train them, then we realize the events. Then we start doing that for outside as well. And again, the same as the merchandising, we only answered demands from whoever needed, people that knew us. It could be sponsors, it could be friends of friends, or even brands. We organized a few events for SEAT recently. But again, we never got to the point where we said, okay, let's focus a lot more on that and expand it. In a way, it's a shame because there is definitely a big potential for those kind of businesses in Portugal.
He's a very organized person. Even at home, he likes everything on time. He likes everything very clean and very organized. And it's easy to understand each other. He can be the same person at home, he can be the same person at work.
It's a lot of organization, yes, between my employers, my companies, my assistants. They need to try and help me out as much as possible.
Team owner is obviously brand new for me this year. A lot of new feelings, a lot of new responsibilities, a lot of new stresses, a lot of new joys.
It's not something that I planned, really. It's something that I thought about in the past, yeah, for sure. One day I could eventually be running a team. The opportunity came up, I thought it was good enough to take it, and we work hard to make it happen.
I was able to reach, in terms of mechanics and engineers, people that I trusted, people that I knew, and then to mold everyone together and to make this team gel together. We had some good results. Now if it happens or not, only time will tell. Nowadays, this sport became a business, and most of the time you need to be very politically correct. So generally now drivers are younger because money is so much involved nowadays. At a younger age, they already prepare you to talk to the press, talk to the sponsors, because it's really an important part of the game now. Journalists and sponsors need to be really taken care of, and you need to measure and to be careful with what you say.
He was coming to Portugal just to do some races with the sponsors. I was a famous model in Portugal, and they invited me to meet Tiago and go for a ride with him. That's how we met, in his car. We had the same passion, driving. He's a fantastic guy, and we were really the best friends. I'm on the races all the time, and I don't freak out. Maybe because I know how it works. I know it's safe. Of course, sometimes there's some big accidents and it's dangerous, but it's okay. I trust him. You have to think like that. If not, you get crazy.
Imola was one of those weekends where everything went wrong. Even qualifying was not amazing. First start, I get up a few places, and then BMW from the back pushes me basically, so I'm completely sideways. Jordi Gene, one of my teammates, was already sideways, being put out by somebody else the wrong way, facing me. And here I am, sideways, coming to him. The BMW kept pushing me, and I just hit him. So, first race, dead, and the car destroyed.
Mechanics were able to repair it very quickly. It was a little bit of a miracle. Started last and started to recover until I got to another Seat driver, an independent guy that I think didn't see me very well. On a braking point, very fast corner, he moved on the last minute, touched my front wheel, brakes my steering wheel. So I lose control of the car, no brakes, at 240 an hour, down the hill, on the grass, like a slide. So I just jumped over the track and finished in the gravel, and it was pretty close to the guys coming from the right. I think it was more scary on TV because people don't know what's going on. But inside the car I was pretty safe, I would say, because I knew that those guys could see me. I was very pissed off.
Mais quand je dis que j'ai très peur, j'ai énormément de confiance en Tiago et sa façon de courir, il est vraiment un gentleman driver parce qu'il est très poli, très pointilleux sur les règles et tout ça. Pas de confiance dans les autres. Il y en a un qui va faire peut-être à queue devant lui, il peut toujours y avoir un accident.
Taking big risks, so accidents happen. We had a few already, but it's part of the game, you know, taking risks, so crashes happen. If they were not crashing at all, you can always think, okay, is he pushing that hard? The accident was right before our race. We went onto the starting grid, and the start was delayed because the helicopter had to take off with, unfortunately, the kid in it. But nobody knew exactly how bad it was. To be honest, yeah, it was just another accident. Very young driver, talented driver, got killed, but that's part of the risk. Even though it's less and less risky, more and more secure, everything is thought and made to make us feel secure, but the risk is there. And then sometimes you have those reality checks. When you're going 200 miles an hour or 150, 180 miles an hour, you have enough on your plate to worry about. And it's part of our job. If you start the race, you have to give yourself 100%. And so if you do race in those circumstances, you will be focused anyway in what you're doing. Otherwise, yeah, you just might as well not race because you're not going to be fast, and it could be dangerous because you might lose your focus on it. Because you have to think about where you're going to brake, try to brake as late as possible, get the feeling for the car, accelerate as fast as possible, all these things, your head is busy enough not to think about the other things. But I can tell you, as soon as the checker flag is down, that's the first thing you're going to think about.
Okayama is a good track actually, not the best directly for Seat, but still, we can be competitive there. It was trial weekend, and then come the race, a huge thunderstorm, some people panicking, vision was a nightmare. One of the issues when it's raining is the fog inside the car. I did most of the race, honestly, looking through a little tiny hole. I had to loosen my seat belts and just move my head, tilt my head, my whole body. It was actually quite unique. I was team playing, and therefore I had to drop a few places. I finished 7th.
We have like 10 minutes to work on the windshield with white, so you see a thing. Very tricky.
And I started on the front row for the second race, pretty much next to the pole man. Again, last minute, a big thunderstorm. Yeah, yet again, Joran Müller has an aqua planning just before the braking, and he puts me out completely, crashed me out. Yeah, he got a penalty, but in the end, my race is already destroyed.
Je regarde pas une seule course de Tiago. Quand je suis là-bas, je fais des mots croisés, je fais des logiques, je suis ailleurs. Et si je suis à la maison, c'est pareil, eux ils regardent et moi je rentre dans la chambre et je fais des mots croisés, des choses qui m'occupent pour ne pas.
Tracks like Po or Macau, even Porto, where you know that any little wrong movement or wrong decision costs you a lot and it hurts. When you hit the wall in a street track, it hurts. But you only think about that when it's going to happen. So whenever it's not going to happen, I don't tend to think about that. The moment is so short anyway, so you don't have a lot of time to think about it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen now, very soon. You freak out a bit. You are scared sometimes. I'm not going to deny it. Sometimes you get some scares, but it's mixed with adrenaline, and that's what pushes you.
you do seem to encounter the same guys over and over and over. When you look at the overall picture, it's not just with you. If you're going to do something on purpose or bad to someone, you have to expect that at some point in the season you'll have some retaliation. So I think it's just the way those drivers are, the way they think and the way they react, just not the smartest way of driving.
Le Mans Series Championship, the 1,000 kilometers of Algarve. Obviously I'm Portuguese, so it's also interesting for the team to have me there.
There's a lot of things very similar to Laguna Seca, Road Atlanta, some parts.
We're racing against each other when the helmet's on, but we were in a way not racing each other because obviously Tiago was in a small team and I was in a team in the middle. If you're racing week in, week out against someone, it's very hard to be very close to those guys in terms of a social relationship with away from the track. I got on well with Tiago. He was just a guy that we had lots of similar opinions and traits on things, and that's what we enjoyed having a chat about. But of course I never really saw him as a huge threat. I mean, as a threat in terms of if you got in an uncomfortable situation on the track, then the relationship would be different. But I never thought that would happen on the track with us.
J'ai très peu d'amis ou de bons copains dans la course. Maintenant qu'on est concurrents, ça risque d'être un petit peu différent de l'année dernière. Moi je tiens à une chose, c'est qu'un pilote qui est respectueux envers moi, je vais faire en sorte d'être respectueux envers lui. Donc après voilà, ça n'empêchera peut-être pas qu'on se tire des bourres et qu'on se bagarre un peu comme des chiffonniers sur la piste, tant que ça reste viril, mais correct. S'il est devant moi ou derrière moi, est-ce que je vais l'attaquer de façon un peu plus agressive ou pas, sous prétexte qu'il est mon pote ou pas? Ça, je ne sais pas le dire. Après, je pense que c'est plus un compromis général par rapport à un championnat. Il faut rester correct parce que quand on est correct, on l'est plus avec soi.
He arrived in Formula One. I'd already done a few years. That was the time I raced against him for the first time. And I had a pretty easy relationship, you know, to start with, a guy easy to talk to.
Okay.
He was a warm, sort of infectious guy. It was easy to have, you know, similar conversations with him about lots of different things.
All right, mate.
His English was amazing for a driver from mainland Europe. You know, there's a few drivers where you can easily just talk to them.
I can count 5-7 drivers which I really count as my friends, maybe 20 which I really get along with, and then all the others are just people that I know. And then there's a few ones which I can't even talk to them because I just don't get along. You know, it's not the same kind of philosophy, kind of people that I want to deal with.
Je pense qu'effectivement ça peut être quelque part nuisible à ton travail quand tu as autant d'activités, toutes différentes les unes des autres, et que tu es un coup à Bahreïn parce que tu as une course de GP2 là-bas, et puis le week-end d'après tu es au Brésil parce que tu as une course de WTCC, et puis le coup d'après tu vas à l'inauguration d'un de tes nouveaux restaurants, et puis entre deux tu essayes de passer du temps avec ta famille.
Noubar is not an early one. We get used to it.
Tiago, lui, j'ai l'impression qu'il a vraiment cette capacité déjà à rester assez calme, à gérer les choses bien, de façon calme et surtout réfléchir. Et j'ai pas l'impression que ça le nuit dans une activité ou une autre parce que justement il a cette capacité que tout le monde n'a pas.
Quand je le vois, on parle de le week-end de course, il est concentré, mais il faut vraiment savoir qu'est-ce qu'il y a à lui dans la tête. Parce que si des fois, peut-être, il pense ailleurs, il pense à son business, à la GP2, à les restaurants, ça, je ne peux pas vraiment le savoir, qu'est-ce qu'il lui a dans la tête. Mais c'est sûr que c'est compliqué. Moi, je n'arriverai jamais à faire la même chose.
My main business is my career, my motorsport. Without my main job, I wouldn't be able to get and to invest and to work with the other businesses. What I love the most is to drive fast and to win races. After that, how do I prioritize? It's quite easy for me to multitask. It's tiring, yes, it's sometimes a bit stressful, but I've been doing that for a long time now. On one day, I'm able to think and to give answers or decisions for 4 or 5 different businesses.
He's got a lot of things that, of course, he's learning as well. And for myself, I don't think I'd get that hectic after I stop racing. I would probably choose a few things and try to do them really well. Of course, Tiago's having a great run with the restaurant. There's some things he's doing absolutely phenomenally well, and some things obviously will probably give you more headaches than he would like, of course. So you're trying to find things that, of course, you can really enjoy, do a good job with them, and also the staffing thing. It's also for us to get used to having staff or people, you know, that you're accountable for, making sure they're happy with their work.
The key thing is to have the right person. You make the final decisions, you give the ideas or whatever, but you have the right people at the right place. I'm not every day at the restaurant. The racing team is the same. You're not going to see me every day at the workshop. To build up the projects takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, but once it's up and running, there's always a lot of work, but you don't need to be physically there all the time.
Oui, ça dépend du caractère d'une personne. Moi, ça me gêne beaucoup. Moi, je ne pourrais jamais faire la chose qu'il fait Tiago. Moi, je me suis occupé de les courses. J'aimais beaucoup ce monde, mais j'ai jamais vraiment fait des autres. Ouais, j'ai fait des publiques relations pour des sponsors comme ça, mais ça me gêne beaucoup d'avoir la tête occupée tout le jour, 100%, et de n'avoir pas de moments libres pour se relaxer, pour penser à la prochaine course, pour garder ma motivation. Mais ça, c'est vraiment personnel. Je ne peux pas vraiment juger si c'est la bonne façon pour faire le pilote de voiture. C'était sûrement pas la meilleure façon pour moi. Mais pour Tiago, peut-être il arrive à gérer tout.
We have a main corridor with 5 rooms basically. Those little rooms can accommodate 7 to 8 people, and you can have 30-something people here. You open the curtains and you have a big room that's nice for special events, nice restaurants. You see the kitchen. Because of the structure of the restaurant, it was very difficult to do. So we put a camera and we put here a big screen that shows the people what's going on in the kitchen. Main room here accommodates around, I think, 70 people or something. And another important feature of the restaurant is you can have pretty much any wine you want here. The wine table, a little bit offset compared to the rest of the restaurant, a bit more intimate areas. Starting to get hungry.
And if I want to win race every weekend, I go to another series. If I go and do GT FIA and I go in a Ferrari or Maserati that wins every race every weekend, or if I go and do Le Mans series with a Peugeot, I'm sure I'm going to be either first or second every weekend because there's no competition. I'm not criticizing these championships, but if we choose this path, it's not necessarily because we're going to win everything, but especially you are fighting with the best drivers, with the most professional teams and surroundings.
Moi, j'ai essayé fort à la Formule 1, mais après 4-5 années, j'ai conduisais pour des petits titres, des voitures pas compétitives. Et je faisais aussi du tourisme, comme Tiago. Et Tiago, il est venu du tourisme. Je suis revenu sur le tourisme parce que j'avais la possibilité de montrer mon valeur, de conduire des bonnes voitures, de faire des résultats. Et je crois que comme Tiago, il y a beaucoup de motivation à se bagarrer pour la victoire.
Brno is not a racetrack for Seat. Everybody knows it, we know it. Wide track, long corners, you are a lot of time on the tires, and that's our weakest point. We go there to try to limit the worst case scenario basically and try to get some points
thanks to some internal fights from BMW, we were able to get a bit closer to the front. We were quite quick at the beginning of the race when our front tires are still fresh and strong. First corner, I think, was Farfield that created a little bit of an accident. Ivan, myself and Darkini able to go through. I had a BMW right behind me and Gabriele behind that BMW. And I knew that if Gabriele passes that BMW, I was going to have to let him pass for the championship. But that's the game. When Gabriele passed that BMW, I think the BMW lost control, touched Gabriele, and they both lost a lot of places. Therefore, I was kind of free to race with Ivan. The other Seats were far away, so just went and took the points for the championship for the team as opposed to the drivers. It was good, the car was fast, even though BMWs were catching because they were just fighting between each other. We were able to stay there on the podium, and we took a podium in Brno, which is not usual for us there.
De toute façon, Tiago a un parcours assez étonnant parce qu'effectivement, il a commencé sa carrière assez tard, puisqu'il avait 18 ou 19 ans.
Et un jour, à 20 ans, il s'est décidé à essayer une voiture sur le Porsche. Et c'est là que tout le monde a constaté qu'il avait un don.
Quand il rentre dans la voiture, quand il était en Porsche, on pouvait être à côté de lui. Quand il était déjà dans la voiture, on parlait, il nous écoutait déjà plus. Il était complètement concentré dans sa course.
Et il est arrivé en F1 très rapidement. Si on est capable d'arriver en Formule 1 à l'âge de 25 ans en ayant commencé sa carrière à 18-19 ans, ça veut dire qu'on est bon. De toute façon, toutes les disciplines où il a fait des bons résultats, il a été chaque fois dans les meilleurs et jouait le championnat dans toutes les disciplines où il a été. Donc il n'y a pas photo, Tiago fait partie des meilleurs pilotes qui existent au monde.
C'est sûr que Tiago, il venait de l'expérience de Formule 1. Et la volonté de l'apprendre, ça c'est la chose que j'ai tout de suite apprécié de Tiago. Il venait de la Formule 1, il n'avait pas une tête grande comme ça, il est venu, il s'est mis avec nous, avec un grand team, mais le tourisme, c'est pas la même chose. J'ai apprécié beaucoup sa volonté pour se remettre en jour, de dire moi je suis là pour apprendre, parce que c'était tout neuf, il a commencé à conduire la traction, que c'était pas facile, c'est pas comme la Formule 1. Mais le premier jour, je ne le connaissais pas. Oui, la télévision, j'ai eu le podium, son podium dans les États-Unis.
Setups, information, dealing with stress, dealing with a lot of pressure. Formula 1 is the best school for that. It's the hardest of all. Physically, mentally, dealing with the press, dealing with the sponsors. Briefings, debriefings, a lot of technical data. I became a lot better driver after being in F1, for sure.
Oui, je crois qu'on est un peu avantagé d'avoir fait de la Formule 1, surtout pour la formation technique. Parce que la Formule 1, c'est la voiture plus difficile pour la mise au point, c'est la plus difficile à conduire. Il y a beaucoup de réglages, un peu d'aide des fois, oui, mais c'est pas grand-chose.
Quand il a fait son podium en Formule 1, évidemment, je n'étais pas en train de regarder, mais quelques temps avant la fin, je commence à recevoir des messages des amis. Il va y arriver, il va y arriver. Alors je me disais, mais je ne veux pas savoir qu'est-ce qui se passe.
Moi, je ne le connaissais pas quand lui, il a fini dans le podium. Moi, j'ai travaillé beaucoup dans la Formule 1 parce que je travaille en télévision italienne, j'ai fait le commentateur technique. Mais pas cette année, ça, j'étais pas engagé là et j'ai vu par télévision.
J'ai descendu un peu les escaliers et ils m'ont dit hey, il est en troisième. Et moi, mais c'est fini? Non, pas encore. Alors je suis remontée. Et c'est quand je les ai entendus crier de joie que là, je suis descendue et j'ai crié de joie aussi.
I think celebrating this type of result is not easy. It's your first one. It is so hard to get that result. A massive surprise that they actually did get it. It's very, very hard to hold back. It's not a dream. It has happened.
Moi, si tu veux, j'avais le même courrier de Tiago, un petit écurie. Et moi, ça me fait plaisir, moi je ne le connaissais pas, mais de voir sa tête, de faire la fête. Parce que ça, il faut de faire la fête.
You have to go also along with your team personnel, don't forget, because you have so many people that work day and night for you, and they are so happy that it's happened.
Quand on est dans une équipe comme celle où il était, qu'on n'a absolument aucune chance de podium, encore moins de victoires, et qu'on arrive à un Grand Prix et de faire un podium, il est normal qu'il célèbre.
Il a bien fait de jouir de ça, parce qu'avec un petit team, c'est vrai qu'il y avait seulement, pas tout le monde était là, mais il y avait aussi la chance. Il a eu une chance d'être sur le podium et lui, il a pris.
It's a top result in some people's eyes, but inside you still know that it wasn't really what you probably deserved.
Quand moi j'ai fini une fois 6e dans les points. Dimanche soir, j'ai dit, mais je crois que Prost il avait gagné. J'ai dit, mais peut-être j'ai fait la meilleure course que Prost, parce que tout est relationné à ton potentiel. Il faut la voiture, nous on court avec une voiture.
Michael and the other two, obviously, it was a strange podium anyway. The event in itself, as a full-on Formula One competitive race, was massively modified.
Il y avait son teammate, le coéquipier à lui, il y avait 2 autres voitures avec le même pneu, et là, lui a gagné sa petite course. Ça, c'est comme une victoire.
It's not a real podium, of course, when you have 6 cars even starting the race. He beat the other 4 cars or whatever it was in the race. And then it was a huge gap, obviously, to the winners, which probably would have won the race anyway. It was certainly put on a nice plate, which was nice for him to get, and he got the result.
Et c'est pas facile de faire 3e, de prendre ta chance. Ça, c'est la chance de la vie.
Les autres ont abandonné, pour une raison ou pour une autre, mais s'ils avaient fait le Grand Prix, ils auraient peut-être abandonné aussi parce que leurs pneus ne seraient pas allés au bout. Encore une fois, il y a des Grands Prix où il a été désavantagé parce qu'il avait des Bridgestone et que les autres avaient des Michelin, et puis on n'a pas dit « Ah bah oui, il a fini dernier parce qu'il avait des Bridgestone ».
Every big race or important race that is interesting for my career, I tend to accept the challenge basically. And Le Mans is definitely part of it. It's a dream come true for a lot of drivers. I did Le Mans for the first time in '99, so 2 years only after starting my career, I was already doing Le Mans, and then I did it again in 2001. For 8 years I couldn't do it. I was really longing to be there again. You know, most of the people don't finish Le Mans. Well, it's 24 hours, it's very tough, and a lot of things can happen. Then I accepted, of course, the challenge of doing those 1,000 kilometers of Algarve. And I was paired up with Bruno Senna, which was a great experience. We did finish on the podium, which was obviously a very good moment to finish in the podium in such an important race in your home country, with a lot of friends and families there, and everybody's there watching, and all the fans. Most of the F1 drivers, as soon as they finish, they want to do Le Mans. It's a different kind of spirit, yes. You have to go fast without destroying the car, without destroying the tires, and being careful with the other drivers around. There's like 70 cars, I think, different levels of cars. So when you are on the LMP1, which is a faster car, you're overtaking everybody all the time. When you are in smaller cars, GT1, GT2, you're going very fast and you're fighting with your competitors, but you still need to be very careful about the faster cars. So it's a very, very difficult job. The way I see it, where I still have to improve and to learn, always have new ideas, do last minute changes on the car that's going to make this little extra. We exceeded our expectations for sure. A win which was unbelievable, so yeah. It is a championship on itself. If you win it, it's good, but it's not going to change anything in your career. Neither for the team nor for the driver. It's a live test for the team. You use those 4 races to prepare yourself for the main series. Even though it will be hard to win it, I think there's still a possibility. Whenever you have a good result, you feel the pressure as well, you feel the joy, you feel the pleasure. At the same time, you know you're not in the car and you can't do much about it. There's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can control. Once the driver's in the car, it's up to him. A lot of times I wish I was there, for sure. Whenever I see that he's on pole position, it reminds me of all these memories when I was in pole position. And the excitement, the pressure at the same time.
So for me, a personal win is definitely 10 times more intense. You work hours and hours and hours, a lot of stress, a lot of problems, a lot of messes to get there. And when you're fighting for the win, when you see your driver going through, but you don't know every corner what he's doing, you don't know anything. It was a very, very strong, amazing feeling, but I don't think it's the same level of pleasure.
I really like actually to stay for a week max, be on the beach, you know, read books, and I can do that. I can switch it off and really relax, you know, dive, play a bit of tennis, surf if there are waves, yes. I do that maybe once a year. I don't consider myself a party animal. I have some friends that are addicted to that, you know, they party every day if they could, but at least every weekend. I've never been like that, so it was okay for me to have a more sporty lifestyle, you know, more serious in terms of physical preparation, going to bed early. I never partied a lot, so I can't tell you if I could do it at the same time. I mean, your body cannot sustain this kind of living for a long time. Usually it's with my friends, most of them in France, but I have friends all over the world, thank God. It's more of the why and the who with that matters most. Even if I stay 1 week in Paradise Islands, I needed to have a gym or a diving center. Whenever I go to Bali, for example, I go surfing, of course, but I also go trekking the mountains. I always need to be around with some adrenaline, for sure. That's the way I live. That's my life. That's my drug.
You got to Formula One at that level, and you need to be right on top of your game consistently at a very, very high point. I got the impression that sometimes maybe he was a little bit too friendly to be a driver.
Je ne dis pas qu'il est gentil, je dis qu'il est sérieux, qu'il fait sa course, mais il se battrait s'il avait les moyens.
He's driven and he got there, and obviously a lot of his other projects that he's got involved in since. Of course, he has a competitive instinct to him, but whether he had that real big drive and desire and everything to make it really survive at that level is something which you know, maybe he might not have had, but still, as a full hats off to him for competing.
D'ailleurs, il l'a fait en Porsche. Il s'est battu contre des gens qui couraient depuis des années. Il a toujours, il sait se battre et il sait y aller. Il faut lui donner les moyens.
Un Formule 1, juste pour être là, pour être partie du circus de la Formule 1, ça suffit pas parce que c'est pas une vie incroyable, c'est difficile de rester en Formule 1. C'est difficile de trouver des sponsors, c'est difficile de travailler tous les jours, de ne pas amuser avec des copains. C'est pas seulement joli la Formule 1, il y a un autre côté qui est un peu méchante.
There's a lot of very, very successful people that have had that real killer instinct, not just in sport, but obviously in business as well.
On prend la Formule 1, ceux qui ont gagné sont souvent des garçons qui étaient des tueurs. Un Schumacher, il ne laisse rien passer, il roulerait sur n'importe qui pour y arriver. Mais voilà, c'est sa force de caractère. À Prost, idem, et d'autres.
But there's also been a lot of people with those sort of traits and instincts which have not been successful, and a lot of very, very genuine, good people, of course, have also achieved very, very good things. It can work both ways. Of course, some people might elect to choose the one that's got the killer fire in him or her, because that's maybe what you might want for the last part of any business deal, any race or whatever. You might want that in you.
À Senna, par contre, pour l'avoir côtoyé, je pense que c'était carrément l'inverse. Et ça ne l'a pas empêché de gagner. Et je pense que s'il n'avait pas eu ce qui lui est arrivé, il aurait été le plus grand pilote de tous les temps. Donc je ne pense pas qu'il faille être un tueur pour y arriver. Certains ont besoin d'être comme ça et d'autres non. Tiago, c'est un garçon qui est gentil, mais quand il est dans la voiture, il envoie du gaz et il ne se pose pas trop de questions non plus. Si on peut gagner en restant un garçon sympa, c'est d'autant mieux.
A lot of my best races happen when I'm more relaxed. It doesn't mean I'm not focused anymore, because a lot of times people talk to me and I'm not listening, but I don't
listen because I'm already thinking about the race, but I need to move, I need to talk. I don't need to be sitting in the car to think about what is going to happen at the first lap or the first braking or the start. I do that 45 minutes before the start. That's when I really focus and sit down and think about that. The last minutes before to get in the car, I prefer to be with my mechanics or my friends or whoever is around. You should, in my opinion, be able to relax and kill all this anxiety, and then again you get in the car and you have again 10 minutes to go back into the calm mode. So yeah, my style is a bit different. Everybody has his own way.
I think I'm a little bit like that, so I'm a very calm person. Even in my work, I'm a very relaxed person. Even with my kids, I'm very relaxed. We are very similar. It's easy to live with each other like that. It's not difficult and it's nice.
The birth of my son, my second child, that was obviously the highest point of the last year, I would say.
We met, I was doing off-road races, not rallies, with big cars. Yeah, next year I have to start racing again.
Valencia was a bit different. I started top 4 or something like that, and at the start I went to seconds. It was Gabriele, me and Ivan. I led past Ivan for the championship again, and I was trying to follow and stay, you know, on the podium, third if possible. And then Ivan passes Gabriele, kind of goes away. So I was pushing Gabriele to try and go a bit faster, but he was struggling for some reason. He was not very fast there. We started to have really serious problems, and at some point I just passed him again, and I caught a little bit more Ivan. Try to follow and protect him basically. Gabriele was able to maintain third place, but I just went away with Ivan. Yeah, finished on the podium behind Ivan, which was another great moment. Especially again because Valencia was never a great race for me.
C'est vrai que mon expérience, moi, en WTCC et en règle générale en voiture de tourisme, elle est plus importante que celle de Tiago. C'est ce qui a certainement facilité le fait d'être un peu plus performant que Tiago. Néanmoins, pendant ces 3 ans de collaboration, il m'a quand même apporté beaucoup. On a beaucoup échangé sur le plan technique, mais aussi des comparaisons sur le plan pilotage, en l'occurrence avec les acquisitions de données. Notre relation, je dirais amicale, n'a rien à voir par rapport au résultat. S'il avait été champion du monde et moi pas, la relation aurait été tout à fait la même. Je tiens toujours à avoir des équipiers de qualité parce que s'il est bon, je vais être bon. Et je pense que Tiago a vraiment contribué à mes performances aussi.
3 seasons in this championship is not a lot when you compare to drivers that have 15, 20 years of touring car experiences, especially my teammates. We have probably the fastest and the most experienced drivers in SEAT. Where I lose a little bit to some of them, my teammates, is really inexperience. They've tried so many setups during the last 15, 20 years that it makes a difference, and that's why you see drivers like Gabriele with 46 years old still very fast.
Moi, j'ai apprécié beaucoup son méthode de se mettre à disposition de l'équipe pour apprendre. Alors qu'un pilote, il est quelqu'un de très vite. Moi, j'aime beaucoup sa façon de rouler et sa façon d'apprendre et d'être avec le team. C'est un des meilleurs coéquipiers que j'ai jamais eu.
We won the championship in conditions that we really thought that it was not possible to make it happen. And I really consider that all of us 5 drivers really helped to make it happen. Without myself, Jordi or Ricard, Ivan or Gabriele could have not fight for the championship. So it's a real team job, and I'm very proud of that. On a personal level, obviously not happy to have not won a race. I've done 2 podiums, but I know that I have a few wins under my belt that I could have had if it wasn't for this rule. So yeah, I was a little bit frustrated, but still, when it's hard like this, you learn more, and that's what I think that's what happened in 2009. So definitely a year where you would have liked to have a bit more, especially the wins. But you can consider yourself happy to have some podiums and in the end win the championship.
Je suis convaincu que le futur nous dira qu'avec l'expérience, Tiago il fera beaucoup mieux. En tout cas, je suis très satisfait pour lui parce qu'il a démontré encore une fois que c'est un pilote combatif et surtout un pilote très régulier. Et ça, c'est très important. Et je l'ai suivi, d'ailleurs, je l'ai soutenu et je suis un de ses plus grands fans. Dans la vie, il faut comprendre nos enfants et savoir que s'ils ont envie de faire quelque chose, s'ils ont vraiment envie, il faut le soutenir, il faut le faire.
Talk about Formula One and traveling with all the cars to all over the world, but this is logistics.
Et puis nous avons toujours avec nos enfants des relations, quand ils voulaient vraiment quelque chose, il fallait la gagner. Et par exemple, quand il avait 14 ans, il pouvait commencer à avoir les chapis. Et son père lui a dit, écoute, tu as 12 de moyenne et tu l'auras le chapitre, sinon tu ne l'auras pas. Il a 14. Par contre, donc il a été un élève moyen, mais quand il est allé en Suisse et qu'il s'est retrouvé à faire quelque chose qu'il a beaucoup aimé, parce que cette école en Suisse, elle est de gestion hôtelière, mais elle est surtout de gestion. Tiago, il s'est retrouvé en train de faire les choses qu'il aimait, apprendre des choses qui lui faisaient plaisir et dans lesquelles il était intéressé, et il a été un super élève.
Je suis convaincu que Tiago sera toujours un peu lié à l'hôtellerie, parce que c'est aussi une passion de Tiago. Et il a appris quand même beaucoup sur l'hôtellerie. Il a fait des études et en même temps il a travaillé un peu avec nous, il a fait plusieurs stages dans le monde. Et ça va donner une ouverture très grande sur cette activité.
So here is one of our production plants. This one, for example, is full. This one as well. This one is empty.
Je pense que Tiago essaiera plus tard, naturellement, quand il laissera sa vie de pilote. Il commence déjà à prendre d'autres responsabilités dans le sport automobile parce qu'il a acheté un team de GP2 qui, effectivement, lui donne beaucoup de passion et de préoccupation. Et je le vois, naturellement, dans cette voie dans le futur.
When I studied hotel management, it's because I really liked the hotel business. My family obviously was involved in the hotel business. The wine area was never in the equation. There was a period of time where we actually stopped the production. When my father and my uncle decided basically to start that business again, we expanded the amount of wine we had. It's actually an amazing process, but I never saw myself in it. It needs to be a passion if you're going to sell this product. So I wouldn't mind to take it over, but it's not planned at the moment.
My career and my youth and everything really prepared me to be able to run different things at the same time. I couldn't be behind a desk and just do one kind of business every day. My mind is not set like this anymore. For me, the natural thing is to do this. I hope deep inside of me that things will be okay in the future. People are now realizing that we all need to work towards better future if we want to make it happen. Not just in business, but also in the mood of people, in the ecological area as well, you know. We need to make the effort to change things if we want to have a world in 100 years. Everything is going towards that. And of course, when businesses are doing better, people get naturally more optimistic as well. So I want to think that people are aware of this need to be optimistic in order to make things happen.
Being a professional driver is helping the team to reach their goals. If you made a strong professional career, it's because you are dedicated 100% to your sport. Taking big risks, so
everybody
back at home, crashes happen. It's part of the game. We had some good results. Now, if it happens enough, only time will tell.
I guess you got to be a bit crazy and like this kind of organization situations and suffering a bit.
They don't get actually everybody follows the levels in any series.